Do you remember that there was this piece of legislation that was going through the parliament in Afghanistan? It was called the Shia Personal Status Law. Some of you are shaking your heads, and those of you who don't remember, it was a law that was being pushed through actually by Karzai because he wanted to win the votes of some of the fundamentalists in the parliament, and also to get the votes of some of the fundamentalists in the Shia community. And so he was allowing this law to go through that talked about, that legalized marital rape, that legalized women not having the right to custody of their children, not having the right to inheritance, all kinds of horrible things. And most of the Shia in Afghanistan are from the Hazara community. They had not been particularly organized, and yet when word got out that this law was being passed, the women in the Hazara community got together and said, you know, how can we let this happen? Well, Afghanistan is not the place where one usually goes and organizes a protest, but they felt that they had to do something. And it was really very risky for them to organize, going against tradition, oftentimes going against their own husbands, their own families. But they decided that they would go out to the mosque where the fundamentalist religious leader had proposed this legislation and would protest against it. About 300 of them came out, and while they were out protesting this Shia Personal Status Law, the doors of the mosque opened and out poured about 1,000 people who started screaming and yelling at them and throwing stones at them and saying that they were puppets of the West and that they were against Islam, and terrified these women. So we met with them, and it was just amazing to hear them, because they said that that's the first time that they had ever organized a protest in their lives. And yes, they were scared for themselves personally, and they didn't want us to use their names, and they didn't want us to take their pictures. But they said that this really made them committed to organizing, and they were going to continue to organize against fundamentalism in any form.